Okay, welcome to my podcast, Curbside Conversations. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Ashley. I'm 38 years old and I live in Little Rock, Arkansas, and currently homeless and battling opiate addiction. So I don't know.
What was your childhood like?
Rough childhood. A lot of abuse, physical abuse, abandonment, things like that. I've been on my own since I was 15, but I didn't get on drugs, like heavy drugs, until I was 26. I was more of like my addiction growing up was more being an overachiever. Like I made straight A's. I was smart. Like I have a year before I had my nursing degree, so
Wait, you have a 4-year nursing degree?
I have a year before I had my bachelor's in nursing.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So even though like my background is typical, like would be for drug addiction and homelessness, like I shouldn't have gone this way based on what I did in school and all that stuff. I got on pain management because of a back issue, and so that's kind of where mine started at. Doctors, overprescribing medication and then losing insurance and being on opiates for years. Even if you take the medication just as prescribed, you're going to have withdrawal, and withdrawal is hell. So I started buying it off the street, and then it just kind of progressed from pills to heroin to fentanyl.
Yeah, so as a child, you mentioned abuse. What kind of abuse was it?
Like the first memory I have is like my cousin sexually abusing me. On my mom's side of the family, that was like a common thing. So it was like my family knew, but it just wasn't talked about. And then there was physical abuse from my stepdad, and a lot of my issues were just after my grandpa passed away and I moved in with my dad. Just because I wasn't like I never got in trouble and I did the right thing and I did good in school. My dad didn't worry about me, so I was just on my own a lot, even early on. You know what I'm saying? So like, I never really had a chance to be a kid. Like it was like I was the parent and they were the children. So
I got you. So you never told anybody about it. You kind of kept it hidden.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what age were you?
So the sexual abuse started when I was 4 and until I was 9. And then the physical abuse my mom got was my stepdad when I was, 14. And I went and lived with them when I was 15. And the whole year that I lived there, he was abusive to my mom, and then he was abusive to me. Like, if I missed curfew, like I remember one time like getting beat with like a rubber water hose. Like he was on drugs too though. Like he was an alcoholic and did cocaine, and my mom was an addict, and so the fact that I guess that I made it to 26 before I fell off the wagon is kind of a God thing, I guess, because I should have probably happened way before then.
So now you did. What age did you join the military?
I was straight out of high school. Well, I say straight out of high school. I guess it was a semester after high school. I went to UCA right out of high school and was in Army ROTC, and then I joined the Navy Delayed Entry Program in January. So I was 18 when I joined.
What was your job in the Navy? Your rating?
I was a cryptological linguist.
Cryptological linguist.
Code breaker.
And I'm going to tell you, I was in the military, and to be able to do that job, you have to score extremely high on the ASVAB.
Yeah.
So you went to school at Monterey, California, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you have to learn another language or anything?
I did. I learned Farsi. This was in the middle of the Iraq War, and so uh, that was their big. I originally was going in as a nurse because that's what I wanted to do, and I randomly, my recruiter was Italian and found out I had a thing for languages, and so I took the DLAB, which is the Diagnostic Language Aptitude Battery Test, and I made a perfect score on it, which is like unheard of. So
Yeah. How long were you in the Navy?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. So pretty much, you good. Pretty much, you did your time in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
What happened after the Navy?
So I came back to Arkansas. I had met my ex-husband, had kids, got married. I have 4 kids. I have twin girls that are 18, and then my son will be 14, and then my youngest will be 13. And then got divorced, and my addiction kind of started towards the end of my marriage. Like, I got on pain management when I was married, and my ex-husband had an affair, and so that's when I kind of started taking the pills that I was prescribed, more not just for like physical pain, but for the emotional issues, to be numb. And so then when we got divorced, I lost my insurance and I started buying it off the street, and it just kind of progressed from there. And the next relationship I was in, he was also an addict, and had been for much longer than I had, and kind of pushed my addiction more into a downward spiral, I guess you could say. And he was schizophrenic and extremely abusive. Like, we were together for almost 7 years, and he put me through hell, just beatings, and he stabbed me, broke my jaw. Like, I was in the hospital for a month. He would tie me to him at night because he thought invisible people followed us, and I cheated on him with invisible people, and he thought that sober. So yeah, he was out there.
Wow. So when's what? Tell me about your kids. Do you still, what happened with your kids?
So my ex-husband and I have joint custody. I haven't been able. I say I haven't been able. I mean, legally, like, they were never taken from me. I never lost custody. But knowing, like, that, my mom was an addict, and my mom and I we don't talk, we don't have a good relationship, just because the things she took me through in her addiction. The best way I knew to love my kids was to not take them through my bullshit. And my ex-husband, he was not a great husband, but he's an amazing dad, and he takes excellent care of our kids. And there's a period of time where I was clean. I relapsed like almost a year and a half ago, and I was clean for 4 years, and tried to talk to my ex-husband about getting back in my kids' lives, but at that point, I don't know, I guess I just let him convince me they were better off, like, adjusted and doing okay. And I honestly don't really know, because he was angry for the divorce, not so much the drugs, but because I left him. What he's told my kids, for all I know, they think I'm dead. I have no idea. And so I just don't really want to fuck their lives up any more than what I might have already done, you know what I mean? So.
How old were they when you got divorced?
My youngest daughter so she'll be 13 this year, and she was almost 5 the last time I saw her.
Yeah.
So.
They live in another state?
No, they live in Benton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like my older two, they just graduated, so I feel like they probably remember me the most because they're older. I don't know, it's just something that I have to work through. Like, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to make anything harder for them because of my issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of up in the air on whether it's a good idea. Like, if or when I get my shit back together to pursue reestablishing a relationship with them, and especially the younger two.
Do they know that you have drug problems?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
They didn't then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never did drugs around my kids. I never did any of that. That's why I chose to stay, I guess, away, and to keep from, not saying like not having their mom there wasn't traumatic, or, you know what I'm saying, didn't do its share of damage, but I feel like having a mom that is in and out and on drugs and in an abusive relationship and whatever I had going on would have been much more traumatic than what they dealt with. So.
Well, you know, I know we had talked before, and you told me there's not a lot of resources in our state, but
no, it's terrible.
You know, if you ever, you know, tell me that you want to get help, I'll try to get you in some type of women's clinic or just whatever we have. I don't really know what we have, but I definitely try to help you out.
If I ever get clean, like, probably one of my goals is to try to change that here, because that's a lot of the reason why people stay in this cycle, is because there's not a lot of support. The community looks at you like you're just they just want you out of the way. You know what I'm saying? They don't really give a fuck. You're just embarrassing, or, you know, they don't take the time to really understand the mental health aspect of it, or the addiction, or what we go through. You know, it's not as easy as to just go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Even that in itself is hard when you don't know where you're going to sleep every night. So.
Yeah. So what do you do for, like, how do you find food? You know, where do you live at?
So I typically panhandle for money, or sometimes I'll hustle and sell drugs, which is not ideal. I tried to do that the least. Food, one thing I will say about Little Rock is there should be no reason why anybody goes hungry, because there's a lot of restaurants that, you know, you can offer to clean up the parking lot or sweet whatever, and they'll feed you. You know, there's a lot of resources as far as food goes. As far as sleeping, just wherever if I happen to make enough money for a room, I'll do that. Or sometimes I have friends, I'll crash with them, but most of the time I just sleep outside somewhere out of the way, because I'm a female by myself out here, so it's a lot different than being a male. You know what I mean? We have a whole different list of issues and things that we have to look out for. So.
Yeah. So right now you're addicted to fentanyl. Is fentanyl, which is worse, fentanyl or heroin?
Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than heroin.
Yeah.
The difference is, so fentanyl is an opioid and heroin is an opiate. Opioids are completely synthetic, like created in a pharmacy, man-made. Opiates, like heroin, are actually derivatives from the poppy plant or whatever, so they're, not that it makes it any better, but you know what I'm saying, it comes from something from the earth, or, you know what I mean, whatever,
yeah.
But, you know, because fentanyl is made the way it is, people, you can order it off the dark web. I mean, you can Google how to make it online, and so that's what makes it so dangerous. You don't ever know really what you're getting, you know what I'm saying, or how strong it is, or what's in it. So it's like playing Russian roulette every day, multiple times a day.
So you said you'd asked me before if I ever had COVID. I said yes, and you said a fentanyl withdrawal is how much worse than having COVID?
It's like having COVID times 1,000. Like everything in your body hurts. It's like everything is on fire and cold at the same time. You get diarrhea, you're throwing up, you get the cold shakes, you have no energy whatsoever. Like the lethargy is crazy. Nose, like snot, snotty nose, and it just gets worse as it goes. And withdrawal can last, depending on how much you're using, anywhere from 2 weeks to a month.
Okay.
And so,
well,
that's what keeps most of us using. Is it's not so much even getting high. Like I can't tell you the last time that I used to get high. It's just to be normal and be able to function.
Okay, well, we're getting towards the end of this,
Yeah.
and here's the deal. If you ever, if you decide you want to get clean, I will do my best to try to find some type of resource for you. Where are you going to stay tonight?
A friend of mine has a room up here, so I'll probably crash up here.
Okay, well, what's your message to anyone going through this, or anyone to try to prevent them from falling down your steps? Do you have a message you'd like to give?
Yeah, just for people who might go this direction, I would strongly urge you to talk to someone. It's really not worth it. I regret relapsing every day. Because we don't, as addicts, we're selfish and we don't think about the pain we cause other people other than ourselves. And so you have people that love you. If you have a support system, go to them. If they don't understand, reach out to NAAA. I mean, there are people out there that will understand. And for people in my situation, and I don't know, we just have to take it one day at a time. A lot of us numb ourselves because we're of some sort of pain or something we're not ready to deal with or whatever. So, but having been clean and been on both sides of it, I would urge anybody to get clean and get off of it if possible, because it's definitely not a way to live.
Well, just know that I care about you. I'll help you any way I can, and I'm turning this off.
Thank you.